the market is moving very quickly, whether it's from all the challenges we just talked about, or it's from a consumer behavior standpoint. It's a very fast moving business, especially in the sneaker market. And I always I've always said this to kind of anybody that enters this market or is, looking to get in the sneaker space. This is definitely one of those most, highest competitions of, product categories, sneakers. Customers today have a lot of choices, and it's not just about, the access of the product, right? Or in some cases, not just the location, but, what does your company stand for? When you look at, data from Gen Z and millennials, obviously that's extremely relevant within that for sure. But, for us at, the Athlete's Foot, we also, have a very different, business model as well within franchising, which I've always loved. Funny enough, when I was on the Puma side of the business, and, this was one of the channels and accounts that I manage, and I always had a lot of respect for really those entrepreneurs that really had skin in the game. Not just from an entrepreneurial position, but just from a consumer engagement. In some cases, we have franchisees that have owned stores for 30 years. We just had a gentleman that retired after 32 years of being a TAF franchisee, and the level of call it engagement and community kind of activations and supporting and uplifting the neighborhoods within our stores that's something that's very different than you would find at another corporate buying level, right? And so I love that. I love the fact that the business is 90% African American from a diversity and inclusivity standpoint, both corporately and the stores. If you look at our franchise partners, out of the 13, 90% of those are minorities, whether it's African American, Middle Eastern, Asians. And I really liked both the model, the supporting small businesses, but I also really liked the fact that these guys could really, really truly make an impact in their local neighborhoods and markets. So there's always something very special about it. Where I thought the business was a little bit more challenging, which I feel we've done a really good job over the past 12 months, is really, taking the initiatives, further, right? They've always been doing community engagements. How do we, pulse up on that? How do we make it more visible to our consumer? How do we rebrand ourselves from, a social and digital standpoint? How do we do a better job of managing the brands and having consistent statements throughout the franchisees? Because nobody wants to go into a market, call it, and see 3 different stores with 3 different points of view. It's confusing for the customer, and so there was a lot of good things to it, but there was a lot of, I would say, opportunities to really get the business to the next level as well.